everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is April and today I get to do one of my favorite videos of the month. It's September new releases time. These are all the books that I thought looked cool that are coming out next month in September. I cannot read them all, but maybe you can, and then you can tell me if I should read them or not. Let's just get right into the video. All right, on September 1st, we have the fourth book in K.A. Tucker's fantasy romance series. This is A Dawn of Gods and Fury. I really need to catch up on this series. I've only read the first two books. Definitely need to read the third and now this fourth installment. I'm not sure if this is the final installment or not. I don't know that it says. But this series is about a girl who is a thief, and she is kind of taken and then sent in a portal to a fantasy land, and she inhabits the body of a princess who just killed the family of her betrothed. And she has to kind of make everyone believe that she's not the one that did it. And of course she falls in love with the prince and everything, and this is a very large political fantasy. It's so good, like so good. K.A. Tucker is a phenomenal writer. Definitely, if you don't check out any other series, pick this one up. Maybe not this book. You definitely have to read book number 1 first, but it's really good. Did I say the first? That's actually coming out on the 3rd. Already off to a bad start. Also on September 3rd is a book I 100% will be reading because I think it's going to be perfect for the romance readathon. This is called Phantasma. This book is about Ophelia. Her sister is missing and cannot be found. And the only way to find her is to actually join Phantasma, which is a deadly game set in a haunted mansion with lots of monsters, and the game keeps changing. It's deadly, and at the end, if you survive, you get one wish. You get one wish, and of course she wants to use her wish to find her sister. And along the way, she teams up with a charming and dark, broody hero. And yeah, this just has Caraval written all over it. Like, I have been waiting for more of a game type book for a while now that has those Caraval feelings. I think this one is it. I definitely will be reading it for the readathon. Speaking of games, on September 10th, we have a game of Veils. This is by Ava Chase. It's one of her brand new series. And this is also, she's a second-born princess and used as a pawn, and her parents have arranged her marriage to the most powerful bachelor of the son of the emperor himself. However, when she goes to the palace, she realizes she's competing for his hand with a ton of other contestants. It sounds like, and because this is Ava Chase, there's gonna be more than one man who catches her fancy, and she has to hope to survive. So I love all of these game types of things. There's always a lot of power dynamics and political intrigue in them as well, even though you don't really suspect it. But yeah, I did request this book. I don't think I'll get it, but I definitely want to read it regardless. Also on September 10th, we have the sequel to one of the most adorable books ever, Somewhere Beyond the Sea. This is by TJ Klune. The House on the Cerulean Sea is really just a absolutely adorable, lovable book. Like, it really is. I really loved it so much. And this is a sequel to that. It sounds like everyone's having a happy time on the House on the Cerulean Sea, but then Arthur gets called away to make a public statement about his dark past. So I don't really want to know too much about this, but just know there's a lot of, this is about an orphanage of magical children, and they're all just so cute and adorable, and I love them, and it has a happy ending, and it's just, it warms my heart. It really does. So this is the second book. I don't know if I'll be getting to this one anytime soon, but it's definitely out there, and maybe I will sometimes when I just need that cozy feeling, you know what I mean? And then on September 17th, we have Fear the Flames. The trade release is coming out on the 17th. This was an indie book for a long time, and now it's coming out again. Again, I do have the arc of this. I will be reading it. and I have no idea what it's about. All I know is it's a very political heavy romantasy. That's it. I don't really want to know any more than that. I know there are dragons and it's a romantasy and it's political. And that's it. I don't want to know any more than that. That's what I'm going in with. Also on September 17th, we have A Dark and Drowning Tide. This is by Allison Saft. Again, I do have an arc of this. I will be reading it. This is a sapphic fantasy where a sharp-tongued folklorist has to team up with her academic rival in order to solve their mentor's murder. It sounds like they're on an expedition for a lot of this book, and I love that as well. You know, me, I love a good road trip romance. I don't know how much romance is in this book, but I think there's at least a little bit. And it also seems very gothic to me by this title, but I don't know if it's an actual like gothic romance, you know what I mean? But anyways, I'm very intrigued by this book and I can't wait to read it. On September 24th is A Fire in the Sky. This is by Sophie Jordan. Sophie Jordan is actually a historical romance author, and back in the day, I guess, she used to write young adult fantasy. And so this is actually her first foray into the adult romantasy world. And it sounds like this book is a little bit epic. You are following Tamsin, who is kind of a maid of sorts to a bunch of royal princesses. And if the princesses do wrong, then Tamsin takes the fall for it. And in comes the beast of the borderlands. And Tamsin is sacrificed to marry this beast of a man in order to, you know, resolve some disputes. This book also promises dragons and magic and lots of secrets. So I'm really curious to see what this book has in store. So yeah, I'll probably will be reading it maybe later this year. I'm really intrigued by it. And then I think finally we have The Wraith King coming out by Juliet Cross. I don't think this is pushed back any further, at least I hope not. This is a brand new series from Juliet Cross and I'm so excited about it. I've been waiting for this all year. It was pushed back earlier this year by like 6 months. This book is all about a dark and bloody and brutal Wraith King who, in order to stop a war, wants one thing, and that's her. Again, there sounds like there is some secret magic happening around this marriage and some prophecy things going on. And yeah, it's just one of those books where I just want to dive right into. And then we have a new book from my favorite historical romance author, Amelie Howard. This is The Worst Duke in London. This series is all about, like the first one was a Pretty Woman book, the second one was like a Cinderella Clueless book, and this one is Bridgerton meets 10 Things I Hate About You, and it's gonna be a very spicy historical romance. This one is all about Lady Evangeline, who absolutely has no interest in getting married, but her younger sister Viola does. And of course, her father has the rule where Viola cannot court or marry until her older sister does. And then, of course, you have a very charming Duke who is in need of money and takes an offer to charm Lady Evangeline so that the other guy can court her sister. And so, you know, thus the tale ensues. This was one of my favorite rom-coms when it came out in the day. So I'm really curious to see how this goes with Amelie Howard. I loved the first book in the series. The second one wasn't my favorite, but let's see how the third one measures up to the others. And then my last book is definitely one that I had never thought I would read, but I'm curious about it. It is called Forgive Me, Father, and this is by Catherine St. Clair. This is a contemporary, and it is a very dark, forbidden romance type of book. You're following 20-year-old Eden, who has always been very devoted to her Catholic faith. And then when Father Roman Breyer comes to town, his charisma and a mysterious presence immediately captivates Eden. They start to form a friendship, which then also goes into forbidden territory. This whole book explores the fragile boundaries between faith, passion, duty, and temptation. This doesn't normally sound like something I personally would read. However, after reading the sequel to A Ship of Bones and Teeth, that one had a lot to do with faith and desire and a lot of forbidden nature in it. And that book has kind of made me open to something like this. So I'm very curious about it. Again, this is going to be dark. It's going to have trigger warnings, and I hope it has an altar scene. I love a good altar scene. Okay. Why not? Let's just make it completely blasphemous while we're at it. All right, those are all the books that I'm interested in reading in September. Let me know if any of these spark your fancy as well. If you're going to be reading any of these, or if there is a book that I didn't mention coming out in September as well, leave it in the comments so that way we can all take a look at it. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.